Let's look at a dominant seventh chord, a straight four-voice dominant seventh chord, the formula of which is 1, 3, 5, flat 7. Now you might know some voicings like this, but we're going to tear it apart so that you see it in terms of a slash chord. If I take a C chord on the second, third, and fourth strings, and then I add the flat 7 up on top, I have it exactly the way the formula is laid out, 1, 3, 5, flat 7. If I view what exists above the root, this would be an E diminished triad. Now we need to look at some theory. In chart number 1, you have your major scales and the respective mode names. You also have the diatonic harmony, the triads and the diatonic seventh chords. If you look at a dominant seventh chord in the box where it says diatonic seventh chords, you will see that it functions only as a 5 chord. So when you play a C7 chord, you're theoretically in the key of F, because C is the 5th in the key of F. And one way to view this is to say it's that 7 triad, the E diminished triad in the key of F, over the 5 bass. So our formula, if we plug it in against the root of the chord, and that being 1, we have a 3 diminished triad over a 1 bass. Well, how does this serve you? Instead of just playing your same old static C7 voicings, you want more color, more options. So we'll play over a track, and I'm going to play E diminished triads, but over the C bass, the total harmonic picture is C7. So I have one right there. Right? Then how am I going to arrive at some more voicings? I'm playing a triad, a diminished triad, right? 3 notes by definition, so that means there are 3 inversions. And how do we find the inversions? You move each note in the chord up to the next note in the chord and stay on the same string. So here I have G, B, E, G, B flat. So I'm going to move up. The E moved to the G went to a B flat, the B flat went to an E. So I get something that probably looks familiar. You say, okay, I see that as a C7 because it comes out of a D7 form that's moved up, root on the 4th string. So that's my next inversion of the E diminished triad, which over the bass line gives me what? Now I'm just moving a little flat 3 to 3 move there. And then we're going to have one more inversion on this string set, right? So I move each note up to the next note in the chord, and what do I get? I'm going to drop down an octave. I get this one, which I would see coming out of this form. So what I encourage you to do is to plot out the diminished triads, E diminished, which is spelled E, G, B flat. Plot it out using the red and the black pen approach. So this one might be in black, this one might be in red, this one might be in black. Do it on the top 3 strings. Then do it on your second, third, and fourth strings. And you will see some familiar voicings. For example, right here, you see that right inside your C7, right? And then you can play around in a blues context, move from E flat to E on the chord form. Now the beauty of this is you're playing 3 voices that aren't getting in the way of anybody. Bass player's got his or her C going on. They can bubble around down there, percolate, whatever they want to do. And you're not going to get in their way like you do with this. And here you get this big 6-voice chord. You want to learn how to lean things out. So, to summarize this, a 1-7 equals a 3 diminished triad over a 1 bass. And if you want to know where it comes from theoretically, remember that the C7 chord is the 5 chord in the key of F. So you have your 7 diminished triad in the key of F over the 5 bass. That way you're relating it back to the parent scale. There are benefits of seeing it both ways.